day.
Well, that's charter.
I know, that's what I'm saying, so I wondered if you still had it.
Well, I was actually going to mention the same thing, that I don't like that terminology. I think we should say hemp sales, because technically speaking, when you look it up, hemp and marijuana are both cannabis. Cannabis is the overarching. So you could say cannabis, but I think to define the difference in now marijuana, and because that's being called cannabis a whole lot more than hemp. I would much rather say.
I told my niece to find me a
hemp sales.
Here, probably in May or June, we're going to get asked by the county commissioners whether we are wanting to have a dispensary.
It's fun to thrift store over by Subway.
We will.
I think it was probably
They
like
can
a
ask.
year
I was the
ago.
only one that was
We
there
were
at the
over
meeting
there.
on Tuesday, so
We were just looking
they
around
just
and
looked at me and asked me some questions.
my wife found this
Or
jacket, this coat.
Remember if I asked
anywhere
him?
between a break.
100% wool. Like, down to here. Quarter. It's just ridiculous. It's really beautiful coat.
No, I don't think so.
So now she's got that coat and she
He's got a
wears
stock
has
already, probably.
a wool skirt. 100% wool from Norway. The wool for like $7.
Regulations.
Regulation.
We don't need no stinking regulations.
You put that right on the,
Yeah, we probably are.
a nice wool coat.
right on the boulevard, you know, you go to Minneapolis and you see, no, you see some of those book plates. You leave a book and take a book and stuff like that.
She gave you one, didn't she?
Yeah, I gave you a whole packet.
Presents for me?
For work?
Is it underneath my desk? Oh, thank you.
Jeez, you darn kids nowadays.
He sells contracts.
No.
Your winter long shirt is like too warm.
Degrees warmer than it is right
What
now.
kind of stuff?
I'd like it
Not
12.
nightmare week.
Degrees warmer or cooler?
12.
12.
Well, just kidding. You got 2
All
minutes
right, we'll
left.
go 12 still.
Oh, good, can I surf this down?
Mechanics or people who build stuff?
Someone,
Seth, did you just hand this to me?
Yeah.
I just put it on.
Don't
Yeah,
say stuff like that.
I mean, you want that,
No,
right?
yes, I do, yeah, but
Yeah.
I had a couple more.
It can
Don't
be done.
even think it.
Matt Knocknos, Greg Fredericks, and Larry Martin. So this is for the conflict of interest.
I'll be home when I get back. Just kind of
I
goes
had
in and
an
sees where other quantities are at and then orders.
That's what we never talked about. Matt told me he didn't have to remember, he said it's built that.
That's cool.
No, it can.
Have a lot of trash.
Stock.
He gets paid for the gas.
He gets to be for all the mileage. Well, he deducts it. Yeah. And then he, Mondays and Fridays, he works from home as needed.
Well, probably 2.5
Where do you guys, oh, you live
since
in
then.
14.
629.
629.
When I was going through the, all those payments that I have to send out.
Washington, I think.
What was it, the extra?
Is that where he usually heads to?
Now they went, I thought they went down to the.
Yeah, they went down to the Ark and then down.
What was it, $6,000 house? Missing a lot of people.
Hey, we can start.
We can start.
Oh, now we can start.
Permission, I get my thing to pull up.
Nope, we're still missing George.
Well, now that the gang's all here, we can start, right? We'll call to order the regular Tracy City Council meeting for Monday, March 25th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any corrections to the agenda?
We do not have any corrections to the agenda, Your Honor.
Motion to approve is written.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. right? So we can,
6:30.
It's always 6:30.
Okay.
It's only 6:30. We can
so,
open up the public hearing.
yeah, we would like to open up the public hearing. Anybody out there like to talk about the sale of the properties?
Mayor, are we going to present some information for the public hearing?
I can speak to that.
Well, I think we
Well,
should.
that'd probably be during the resolution that would be under discussion.
Or discussion after a motion. Yep. Motion and a second, then we can, and if there's any kind of discussion, then I can talk about it a little bit. Give you a little bit of the details and.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-34 authorizing the sale
Hold
of.
on, we gotta,
Hold on.
we gotta close the public hearing now.
Yeah,
We will-
I think, Jeff, if you want to give a
I can do it.
background on what's going on.
So we have ECCO, we have them wanting to buy the 3 lots that are just to the south of their current buildings that we own right on the corner of South Street and 4th Street. It was agreed that we would look at it in the public hearing is to sell those 3 lots for $500 a piece, as long as they pay for all of there was no surveying charges, but they are paying for the legal fees and the closing costs and everything else that is going to be going along with that. They're in the planning stages of their architect that's going to be going through there and putting in there what it's going to look like, but as of right now, they don't have that ready yet. So, but they are, and I have Matt who started some of the paperwork, but we're just waiting. I wanted to wait for tonight to get it approved through the public hearing before I turn him loose on it, so we don't spend money that doesn't need to be spent on their behalf. She does, Carrie is her name, and she would like to actually, when they get that done, she would like to come in, and she would probably be only in public, just public comment, but she'd like to come in and show the diagrams and what they would like to do over there.
So we don't have to worry about them not building on those lots, right?
We can put that in yep. Nope, that's already been talked about. Matt and I are discussing that we're gonna give them a certain amount of time. Probably what we normally do is 2 years to do something with the property, but been taking care of it and cleaning it up on the corner, and they got some good ideas with it, so.
Okay, then can we close it? We will close the public hearing, reopen our regular meeting, and now,
Now you want me? Make a motion to approve resolution 2024-34 authorizing the sale of the 3 parcels listed to the ECCO.
Second.
first and second, any further discussion?
Well, I'd just like to reiterate how happy I am that we're selling these lots and that there are plans for them. And those lots have been vacant for a long time. Good use of them.
It's nice to see their organization grow.
Yes.
Alrighty, roll call, please.
Teagues,
Aye.
Arviso,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Dobson,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to talk about something that is not on the agenda?
Uh-oh.
I just like to request again about the chickens. I was just thinking that if we could do like a one-time payment of $20 to have chickens, and then it would be forever. Not this annual $50 things that's so cost prohibitive that nobody would ever do it. So, just another bug in your ear. Thanks.
Do we want to do the conflict of interest?
Yes, yep, number 6, conflict of interest, small cities development program. So what we have to do with this, if anybody doesn't know what the small cities development program is, it is the grants that we receive from DEED that is not only for homeowner occupied, but it is also for some commercial projects that we will have uptown. So with the amount of people that we've had to apply for these loans, and grants. It is, we've had to fill out some conflict of interest forms. So that's what I'm gathering, all the conflict of interest forms. I have all of them so far. But tonight what I need to do is I need to be able to read a few paragraphs to you and kind of explaining what the state says and what the city code says on being able, a conflict of interest in this type of thing. So I'm going to be reading those three to you, and then also what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to read the 8 names that are going to be in the minutes. And then actually tonight, since Mary, yours is one of the names on there, I'm going to have Tom's going to sign the minutes tonight, because I got to get the signed minutes in there too, just to keep it off your name on it and everything. So if you don't mind. Minnesota law generally prohibits public elected officials from taking part in any manner in making any sale, lease, or contract in which the official has a voluntary personal financial interest in the sale, lease, or contract. Additionally, Tracy City Charter Section 6.05 states, except as otherwise permitted by law, no officer of the city who is authorized to take part in any manner of any contract with the city shall voluntarily have a personal financial interest in any such contract or personally benefit financially therefrom. However, Minnesota Statute 471.88, subsection 14, specifically addresses the situation of elected officials applying for loans or grant programs run by local development organizations for individual property owners. Specifically, Minnesota Statute 471.88, subsection 14b states, when a local development organization administers a loan or grant program for the individual property owners within the geographical boundaries of government unit by the agreement entered into the government unit and the local development organization, an officer of the government unit may apply for a loan or grant from the local development organization. If an officer applies for a loan or grant, the officer must disclose as part of the official minutes of a public meeting of the governmental unit that the officer has applied for that loan or grant. Thus, pursuant Minnesota Statute 471.88, subsection 14, the City Code 2.3, subsection 5E, no conflict of interest exists in Tracy. Elected officials and employees applying for the Small Cities Development Program grants, so long as the individual discloses their interest in the loan, abstain from taking part in any discussion or whether to approve loans or grants they have to interest in, and abstain from voting or approving any grants in which they have a personal financial interest in. So just a little bit of an explanation of what I'll have to do is we do have some of the loans that we give that we're going to be, just for example, if there's a project that is $30,000 in the Small Cities Grant, and we have to give a loan through our CDBG account, I'll have to make sure that the right people are voting on that, because we vote on who gets those loans, and we usually give them to everybody, but it goes through the EDA part of it. But with this particular grant, anybody on the city council, and I actually added, Matt and I added all the way down to people that are on some of the boards. We want their names read too, just in case. But just to reiterate, there's nothing that you will vote on here. This has already been, we already got the grants, they're already here. I don't have any say in who gets these grants and who doesn't get these grants. I have no say whatsoever. So there's nothing that any of you are going to be able to do. And then I just need to help administer the grants to the specific commercial properties and the residential properties.
Do the employees of the city have to also?
Yes, they're on here.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 8 of them on here. So I'm going to read those, and then we'll, if we have to add any of those, I don't believe I've forgotten anybody, but if we have to add any of those, we can do that in a different meeting. And this is a 2-year program, so whenever we need to do it, we won't have to do this again. We would just have to add them to the minutes and get them signed.
So we more or less are going above and beyond to just show
Basically.
that we are not showing any favoritism or anything
Right,
like that.
exactly. And this is actually a memorandum from legal, and that's what they were asking for, and then a signed minutes is all it is with the names that were attached. And if we have to attach another name here in a couple weeks or 6 months from now, we can do that. Again, nobody here, I don't, if anybody, it would be with me, and I don't, they've already told me I have no say in it. Okay? All right, so the names that I like to read are people that are either employees on the city council or on a couple of the boards that would, they won't have anything to do with it, but just in case, just so we have their names down here. So we have Rosemary Martin, Pam Corman, Tom Moran, Seth Schmidt, Cam Shones, Dale Johnson, Greg Frederickson, and Matt Knocknos. Any questions with that? No resolution, just having those read, and they're in the, and now they are in the file. Okay? All right.
Moving on to the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 11th council minutes, approve municipal accounts payable and payroll without breakthrough beverage, approve the municipal accounts receivable, and approve resolution 2024-38 accepting a donation from Kiwanis for the Central Park Improvement Project.
I'll second.
Does anybody have any comments?
I had just one question, Mayor. Under the expenditure for holiday outdoor decor, $6,400 down to, what specifically was that for?
Banners.
That's the banners.
Yep.
Okay,
We had no other place to put it but holiday.
okay.
Thought we were gonna get really party festival for the Aloha night.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the name of the company, Holiday Outdoor Decor. Okay.
I just want to say the thank you to the Kiwanis for their donation.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything? Roll call, please.
Jones. Aye. Dobson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Cheeks.
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable to breakthrough beverage.
Second.
First and second, does anybody have any comments about that one? Roll call, please.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Dobson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
Okay. Anything under mayor council communications? Anybody have? So number 9, staff reports. Val, you want to go first?
I don't really have anything to add for you this time other than what's already on my report. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
The circulation holding up now.
Yeah, I just am finishing up the annual report, and we're just slightly above 2022 with our 2023 circulation. So anytime you can hold your own and not decrease in circulation, that's definitely a good sign.
You're doing some stuff right over there.
Yeah,
Some stuff right over there.
we do our best.
How's the DNR grant going?
Good. I went and spent a few hours going through it again today and just, reading carefully through the questions, making sure we have all the questions answered, adjusting some numbers. But yeah, we should be ready to go. I think I just have something for Jeff to sign at some point this week, and then we should be ready to submit.
In the right color.
In the right color, yes.
Yeah, with the timeline now.
You should see the timeline I made today. It's pretty nice.
It requires a timeline now.
Val, could you talk a little bit about maybe a little bit what we've been doing with this building? I'll put that on yours, and
Okay.
also with the Blandon and then the age-friendly grant. Too,
Okay.
For the,
So with the conditions assessment, we had a meeting with Brian from ISG and our consultants at New History last week to review the 75% draft report. So we're required by the Historical Society to submit this 75% draft report so that they can review it, come back with any comments if they've got any, and then we can move forward with it from there. And it takes, they say, we have to give them 30 days to answer or respond or approve it. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern with that project because we don't want to move forward with the report if we've got something in there that needs to be changed or updated or whatever. So, but the report really looks great. ISG is doing a really great job on that, and our consultants commented on that too, that they were impressed with the quality of the report. So I don't foresee the Historical Society coming back with anything, but you never know what they're going to come up with. So we'll keep that going hopefully in the next month and work on the final report, which would be sometime, I believe, in, what are we looking at now? May, I suppose. Yeah, we pushed it back a little bit to give them a little bit more time. We wanted to make sure we have a complete report that's done correctly. So
240 pages.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine them reading all those?
There's a lot of pictures in there, but it's very, very detailed.
Yeah, it's very thorough. So yeah, there's a lot of photo pages with things that even I have never seen in this building before. So it's very interesting. If you've never seen the North Pole Chute, that report will be your chance.
Nice. In case we have to go back to coal, we're set.
Yep. And with the age-friendly grant, we're just waiting on one final report to submit on that, which we can start working on after April 1st. So next week we'll go through, get that final report for that grant done. I think we'll end up having spent about $20,000 of that money. And what was the other one? Oh, Blandon. I keep leaving the messages and they don't call me back, so.
We're just having to not really adjust, but we're really having to take, all the money that was raised for the community center is, money that was supposed to be spent at a certain amount of time, so we're having to redo,
Right.
some of them weren't. I mean, some of but we're having to go back and make sure that, giving them the reports and making sure they know where the money is at.
Yeah, and in some of these cases, we'll be asking for extensions. I don't really foresee that being a problem with Blandon. We submitted one also to the Schmidt Foundation. So generally, these organizations are willing to work with us. We just have to communicate with them about it. So, and since our primary source of communication left since we applied for the grants, it's taken us some time to make sure that we get everything in line. So, but we're working on it.
Anybody else have anything for Val?
Thank you.
Thanks for all
Okay,
your
thanks.
hard
Good
work,
job.
Val.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Chief,
I also don't have anything to add other than what's on my report, so.
I have a question for you from Concerned Citizen.
Sure.
They want to know if there was any tickets written on Valentine's Day when they plowed the snow.
Yes. 8. I believe.
Okay. They just wanted me to ask. I know, they are.
Were there any last night?
I didn't see any on my desk this morning.
I don't know.
That may be a good thing.
That might be amazing.
People had warning of this storm coming.
Well, they hyped it up so much.
Rather have it hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Chief, welfare check is something that you note fairly often in your reports. Is that something typically that a citizen asks you to have a welfare check, or do sometimes you have certain individuals you automatically check on?
No, welfare checks are generated by a complaint, either from citizen or a family member. There has to be some fidelity, way to validate that there's a reason to go do the check. Some of the numbers that you see may be the school because parents didn't call in for their children for so many days in a row, so the school calls and is concerned that this child might be home alone, nobody's bringing it to school or checking in. So some of that might fall under the welfare check line item too.
Definitely a nice service to offer.
So.
Anybody else have anything for Jason?
Bruiser's gonna be here pretty soon.
They started on it. All the parts are there.
Nice.
So, next, I suppose, week or so, they'll call me and tell me they want the parts out of the 19, so we'll have to go deliver that one to them. Then that'll be the last you see of it. So everything will just be handled up there from there on.
Okay. No, that'd be fun to see that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. In my report, basically, it's that revenue's higher across the board. Utilities, liquor store licensing. Just that graph for the licensing and the DMV, I was really impressed how much it went up, especially in February. Just due to higher fees that the state is having us charge now for filing fees. And also in boxcar liquors. It was pretty shocking comparing this year's cannabis and e-cigarette sales to last year's. That was $4,000 extra in sales each month. So, any questions about my report or something else?
The deputy registrar, is that the hours? Are we accommodating the public, or do we have complaints about access, or is that pretty well working as far as hours we're offering?
It's been going well. We're back to normal hours. We have been for like a year now, and every blue moon, maybe there's like a half hour or so where Krista and Stacy are out, and I'll just be doing tabs by myself. But most of the time, Diane's able to come down and cover in those situations. But here and there'll be like a half hour maybe once every couple months, and it's never a big deal. I'll just let them know. Krista will be back in a few minutes, and she'll be able to help you.
Yeah, just generally, when I've been around City Hall, it doesn't look like there have been many. The lines are short.
Yeah, it's been going well. It seems like Stacy and Krista really have it down. They notice when it's getting busy, and they help each other out. Any other questions?
About as far as delinquencies and paying the utility fees, anything unusual there, or keeping up with that pretty well?
It's been going well. Krista calls and lets people know when they're behind, and it seems like that really helps people get paid on time, and late fees have stayed held pretty constant.
Just out of curiosity, how many of our customers are on an automatic bill paying service where it's just automatically taken out of their account?
I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure on a number there. I don't know if we even have a report that could run that. But I know Krista runs ACHs 3 times a month, and those are each usually around $5,000 worth of payments. And then besides the ACHs, which we're actually having the bank withdraw it directly from their bank account, besides those, there's the payment service network, online payments, and some of those are paid out of their checking accounts, and some are credit card. So I'm not sure how many are automatic, but I could try to get a number for you if you'd like me to.
I'm curious. I mean, if you don't have a delinquency problem, that's maybe a moot point, but
Okay.
The more of those automatic payments there are, the better the cash flow is, I feel.
Right. Yep.
We are trying we talked about it last week in the office with Krista and actually Diane with the park board donations, and then we are doing swimming pool lessons. We're going to be doing that online this year, so we're looking for the possibility of maybe a a little bit of an upgrade in the system where it'd be easier to get automatic payments, even for like CDBG accounts and loans and everything else. So we're not quite there yet, but we need to get there.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ted.
Tyler.
Thank you.
I guess we dodged a bullet on the snow for the most part here, so it was good to see. I guess some highlights, maybe for the public, you probably all read my report, but the teeters got removed out of Central Park. They were damaged beyond repair.
What?
The teeter-totters.
Teeter-totters, okay.
So we're going to salvage some of just the individual teeters and see if we can make some of the other parts better. But as far as structure, it was all screwed up and we couldn't get brackets for it anymore. I'm guessing, I don't know how old that was, probably the 70s at least, if not older. So
60s.
So it did well, but so if you see that missing or anyone says anything to you guys, just that's what happened with that. So
Shane, are you hoping to get one working teeter salvage then? Is my understanding that right?
well, it'll just be the individual teeter.
Yeah.
There's some other parts that they look a lot worse there, but the structures are still good. So we'll probably just use them on those, try to make them a little bit safer. But
Sure.
and then we had still waiting for prices to come back, but we did inspections on all the parks and we did a bunch of repairs. I think it's probably been a couple weeks now. Sebastian slides are in very poor repair. Not really vandalism, it's just wear. I talked to the company, they're saying plastic slides usually 20-year lifespan. Park's been there about 18 years, so we're pushing that. I think for what I can say, and Seth, you might know too, 2006 was probably about the time they put those in, so I know it was before I started, but I know there was a grant for that initially, but I do, they're working on, they just emailed me back today. I have to go out and dig some more numbers off a few of the slides, but we'll wait and see what those come back at and decide what we want to do from there. But we're going to try to make some repairs to kick it down the road a little bit longer, but anything we do isn't going to last more than a couple of years, so it's just getting thin is what's happening. So
How much was that wide slide? The one, if you've been to Sebastian Park, the wide one where like 2 or 3 kids could go down?
I haven't got an official price. I had another competitor quoted at about $16,000 just for that one individual section.
Just
But-
the slide.
But I haven't heard from the actual company that supplied it to us, so I guess when that comes back we'll know. But we did there's a spiral slide on the south end. We replaced that in, I think, spring or summer of 2021. That one was $6,400, I think, just for that section. So I say they're not cheap. So other than that, I don't know if you have any questions. I'm going to report otherwise.
Shane, did your guys run into any trash cans in the street this morning?
Well, I'm sure there was a few that were hit if they were out. That snow is heavy, so.
Just drive north out of your driveway, Seth.
I just
Yeah.
kind of wonder if we need to get more aggressive on that. Some people don't ever bring their
No.
garbage cans in from the street, and that is not good, and especially when it snows.
Yeah, and we're real careful on garbage day, but you know, if it's Monday and garbage day was Wednesday, we're not gonna start going around every can. We'll have snow all over the place. So, that's one more thing I was gonna mention. Just lost my thought. But
I did want to just add a little bit to what Shane said about the park slides. When Shane brought this up at the park board meeting last week, and it was a real eye-opener for all of us on the park board. And if you're like me, I just kind of considered that, well, that's a new playground set. It seemed like it was just yesterday. I had no idea that it was already 18 years old. And it's a good reminder that things do wear out. And I think the city, the council, we need to be a little more realistic about budgeting for a replacement schedule for some of these things, so we're not all of a sudden just hit here and we've got all these broken slides. That just because we put up a new playground set, it's not going to last forever. And we just got to be realistic about what the costs are of maintaining our park system, which everyone enjoys, but there is a cost to it.
I regained my other thought. Compliance orders, Clay's been running around finding any of the deteriorated structures, whether it be houses, garages, sheds, whatever. I don't think he's missed a whole lot so far from what I've seen, so I think he's going to send another pile out this week as long as weather permits, allows time for that. So if you hear anything on that, that's what's going on with that.
It makes me think, because when's our spring cleanup day usually?
Mid-May.
That we probably need to start getting word out there for yards, that people need to start cleaning up their yards with different things out there, and to utilize the
Cleanup day. Yep.
You know, I have seen some properties improve, but they also go like this. They improve, then they get back to needing more help.
Yep.
And so I think we need to focus, and I know that I'm looking at you and I'm looking at Jason. I know it's two different things you guys are doing, buildings, but I think we're going to want to start looking at that now, especially hopefully in April. The weather will be...
It's done snowing, right?
You might want to mention what we had planned on doing until that day that I couldn't go with him.
Oh, yeah. Jeff and Clay and I, we actually planned till Jeff got ill that day, but just running around and looking at different things around town just to see where our priorities need to be as far as trying to get some improvement on the lots around town. A lot of them that we have seen, I don't know how many were on the list for sure, but I would say there's over 10 of the properties that are on our list are tax forfeited, and they're in the hands of the state and county. And the way it sounds, the county is not going to have an auction in the very near future on those houses. Due to some circumstances around the state, but
You're potentially looking at maybe some of them are not a nuisance anymore, more of a hazard. Isn't that the word you used, Chief? Wasn't it hazard?
Yes.
and we could still, you can still go after them with the hazardous building law, but you're going against the state. It's probably just going to circle back, and it's going to end up being the taxpayers that foot the bill of tearing it down or whatever. So we do have the authority to get a court order to tear them down, but the expense is going to fall on the city. So in most cases.
Shane, and these substandard buildings that you just talked about, how much time do you give the property owner, if there is a property owner, to bring them up to standard?
Depends on the circumstance. Some of them that are written up are, a few months. If it's just one thing, then it's easy to fix. Just get it done. Some others are a year, if they have to re-side and re-shingle. And I know some of these might get taken care of with the UCAP grants, but I don't know where all those will fall either as far as getting repairs done. But
others, do we make sure they're aware of the whole UCAP money that's coming, that they would need to apply for it, but it would be a possibility? You know, we've talked about it a lot, so we think everyone should know about it, but people don't. Not everybody watches us on TV, you know, not everybody reads everything in the paper. I'm sure they all read something, but not everything. I just wonder if somehow we communicate with those people that are getting these deficiencies, that this would be an option.
Yeah, I don't know about in those particular ones, I don't know if we could match those up well enough, but yes, in fact, there was another avenue that came up today for the ones that apply for the CDBG money, or the Small Cities Development Program. There's another program out there that some of them that apply that don't get it, or aren't a part of the 20 or 22 or whatever it is, that there's another avenue that we go down, that I was presented with. It was actually Brandy that actually presented that with me today. So we can do that, but.
You know, a lot of times it's money, you know, because it's not cheap. Shingling the house or siding the house, or, I mean, any of that stuff is not cheap. So I just want to make sure they're aware of the resources out there.
And if they're showing improvement, we've always worked with them on the time too, so it's not like we're gonna be sitting there waiting for the last day and find them because they have a half a box of siding left to put on. But if they're doing nothing, then, you know, that's the way it's gonna be.
I do think the city's been, in the past, very generous in giving people time and opportunities for deficiencies repaired. But you know, Jerry, you said about contacting people and making sure they're aware of CBDG programs. How many homeowners did we have come in and apply last week?
We had 144 pre-applications, and then we had, I think it was 36 people that were here, and I don't know how many households that, I don't know how many 2 people were in. So we will do that. I talked to them today, and then we will readdress that. They've got, I think it's 10 applications already, so we're already halfway to the applications that are taken, so we only have 10 more left to give. But and that we're going to leave that sit for a little while until we can figure out how many contractors we're going to be able to bring into town, and then we'll see that they're not feeling that we're going to have to do any more advertising for that particular one.
Yeah. Seems like the demand is exceeding the supply of money.
We could have 4 or 5 times that amount of money.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
I got a couple things really talking points, unless you got some questions with it. The liquor store is going to be advertised in the paper for RFP for on the 3rd and the 10th of April. They are due, I believe it's the 17th, a week later, and then we're putting in there has to be a tear down by the June the 30th. Ran into just a small, and it's not real small, but it's a little bit more money, is asbestos tiles over in the old liquor store. There was not 1, there was not 2, there wasn't 3, but there was 4 layers of it.
Oh my goodness.
So they just kept laying
Just
on
like
top.
your paint.
Yeah, right.
So we're dealing with that right now, and we'll be all right there.
When is it going to go on the paper?
The 3rd and the 10th. Due on the 17th, I believe, is what it is. I don't have it right in front of me, but it's going into the newspaper on the 3rd and the 10th. And then we've sent out a couple of the RFPs to a couple of other contractors also.
And Jeff, there's no possibility of getting some help from the county?
Not with the tear down. Not right now. We're dealing with the county. I don't even have that on my list. We're dealing with the county. We have to put a presentation together for them for the 2nd of April for some funds that are going to be available for housing. We're just going to decide that we're going to look at it at the EDA meeting on Wednesday morning on what, if we do get this money, what we want to do with it, and I just actually wrote it down a little bit ago, is tearing down houses, is that one of the potential options? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be more difficult to argue for the city-owned property, but I guess I was thinking for the tax delinquent properties.
Well, it's the county that owns them. It goes state, and then it's the county that owns them. And the reason that they're not going to be for sale right now is there was the counties of the state of Minnesota decided that they're not going to. They haven't sold any of those forfeited properties now for this will be the second year in a row, because there was some counties that were benefiting or making money off of some of the properties that they reclaimed. So somebody dies and or whatever might happen, and the property goes back to the county, then the county and a few counties were turning around and selling that property for a whole lot of money, and came back, and there was a lawsuit, and the lawsuits they kind of put a hold on all of the counties, even though if we tear down a house here, it's gonna the tearing down the house costs more than what the property is probably worth.
Yeah.
But all the counties are in the same boat right now, and they're all on a little bit of a hold.
Yeah, and the city's worth, the lot's worth 50 grand.
Yeah, or more. So yes, it's been looked at. There's a short answer. Multi-purpose center, I just want everybody to see that as of next Monday, the multi-purpose center cars will be starting at the Sasquatch coffee shop, Squatch coffee shop. Golden Age and Potluck will all be over there starting on, starting next week. It was a temporary thing that we were going to be going to the Eagles. We had a contract for 1 year. It's now been over 3 years. And it was I just want to thank Steve over there and the Eagles for allowing us to stay over there as long as they let us stay over there. So nothing wrong with it. Was a mutual agreement that we needed to find a different place. So they were over there. So I have the contract is already drawn up and signed for a rental agreement for over there, and it will be for the same amount.
$3,000 a month.
$300.
Or excuse me, 300. What was I saying? Yeah. Okay. Will we need to not hire city staff?
We are going to keep the city staff there for the time being. Yes, for sure. Yeah, because they don't have time to do whatever needs to happen over there. So we are still gonna use them. They're gonna for the Saturdays, the Golden Age and the potluck. And they're even gonna have them serve over there a couple times a month. So we'll have the same commitment as we did before.
Could you explain how the senior noon meal will work? Did you say they would be offering, like Squatches would be offering?
Every once in a while, yes. Every once in a while, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're going to get it from Food Pride. We're going to get it from there's a baker here in town that we get some things from. So we're going to for us it's going to be the same deal as we've had before. Again, I want to thank the Eagles for allowing us to stay over there as long as they let us stay over there. So.
Yes, I'd second that. They helped the city out when we were kind of in a pinch. And so that's arrangement has worked out really well.
Moving on, just swimming pool employees. We've had a couple open houses, and we are up to, we had 28 people that applied for all the positions out there. So we will have, doesn't matter how many we hire, there's no more hours than what we normally would give. But Jessica has done a nice job of creating a good atmosphere out there in her 1 year there. Not that there wasn't a good atmosphere there before, because there was. But she just has now that she is working at the Tracy area schools, she's the pair out here. So she has, she's right there with the kids, so it's easy for her to do some recruiting too. So we have our next meeting on the 9th and the 10th to do some sign up of some people, because they have to fill out their whole employee packets. They got to get explained their ESST to them. So we're going to be doing that on the nights of the 9th and the 10th. So because it's not too far around the corner, and we're going to be opening that thing up. First day of the pool will be open will be the 30th, this is the 31st, date in May. That'll be the last Friday in May. Will be the kind of the opening. Real quick thing here with when we got our when we put together through SRDC, they put that report together for us on where the city is going to be going over the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. We should have had them put together our zoning to go right along with it. I'm actually talking to them right now. We delved into the zone, the whole town again. We've got some spots, over by here uptown. What we can do with the downtown businesses and buildings. What we can do. The water tower over here it's in a non-industrial, but it's in a residential. So we've got some things. We've got the front street that we're going to be putting a couple houses out there now is listed on industrial. So we have some things that we need to get fixed. And so I'm in talks with her now. There's nothing going to be signed. You'll see that before we did anything with it. But we're going to need some help. We don't have the expertise to do that right now. And that's what I'm getting the word from just why would you do that? That's something that's well above us. So we're going to see what we need. So it's through the planning committee that they're going to be here in May just to go over maybe a potential plan for late this coming year, and nothing would get charged out to us till after the first of the year. So we're going to see what they can give us for a plan. EDA interviews. We are interviewing 2 people for the EDA position as of Wednesday at 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And by Thursday, I would like to have somebody or both candidates called and an application accepted, and hopefully accepted by one of the 2 interviewees or the applicants. So we're going to have just real quick. There's going to be 4 people in here and 4 people in the basement of the library interviewing. So each candidate will get 2 interviews. So they will have 8 people that will. And then on Thursday, I'll communicate with everybody on what their choices are, and then we'll decide as a group on who we're going to hire. Okay. Any questions on that? You can give me a call too. The housing. We were talking about the front street out there. We did run into a little bit of an issue out there with the 2 lots that we're giving away to UCAP out there. Who would have known that we don't have gas lines that run up the street all the way to where we have the property there?
Now
So,
what?
No, nothing really. I applied through Minnesota Energy to have them put them in.
Okay.
And we're going to see if there's going to be a cost that's going to go along with that. It's infrastructure is what it is. If we needed to put the infrastructure in, I know where, we have some infrastructure funds that are available. I'm trying to get it for hopefully nothing. Otherwise, there might be propane tanks. Now, there's a couple houses in that area down there at the end of that street. I guess I never noticed, but they have propane tanks, just like I have at my house on the lake, out in the country.
I
So
never
there's always that
noticed either.
opportunity, and then there's just a gas line that comes out of the propane tank to the house. So it was just an issue that I just wanted to tell you about. Val talked a little bit already. She's gone already about the BMC project. It's a lot bigger project than what we talked about. A lot bigger. So it's going to be a topic of conversation over the next probably 3 years, if not 5 years, of what we need to do to this building to keep it up. So there's going to have to be just some decisions made, and probably even eventually a planning meeting with the city council on. That's all we talk about is this, and get you the figures.
So some commitment on our part as well as some from the historical.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is we're working with them right now to tell us, what they're going to be, but this is astronomical. So
But if we
to
don't-
build this building right now, it would be $16.5 million. To build this building would be $16.5 million. And there's a lot that needs to be replaced. So we're going to have to decide as a group, what are we going to use this building for? What's it going to be for? What do we want out of this? Are we going to use the upstairs, or are we not going to use the upstairs? You know, the gym obviously we're using, but there's some main things that need to be done, and we're all working really hard on that, on making this into steps. So we know we gotta get a roof. We know we gotta get tuck pointing. We know we gotta get windows. That's like a phase one type of thing. But then when you start getting into putting in venting and HVAC into this building.
Now, the National Historic grants, will those accommodate things like HVAC and roof, or is it mostly outside?
It's mainly what they're doing is the outside of the building, the roof, to secure everything.
They will do that.
Yeah, but they wanna secure, a lot of their main thing is like this out here where it has all the marble and everything. They're looking at anything that would go along with that, they would want to be a part of it.
Okay.
We just haven't got, Tom, to the point of talking to them about, okay, if this is $6 million, how much do you guys how much can you come up with?
And phase.
Yes, and a phase, and then that's where I'm talking, you're looking at, I believe this is gonna be, it'll be 5 years. But then we have to decide before we do anything, what do we wanna do with this building? What do we want this building to be? And I think we're kinda waiting now too to see what Bollig can come up with.
Yeah.
Because it's not only through new history and national historical, but it's also what they can do.
Well, that's gotta fit in with all the other things that Mullinger's gonna, we're looking at streets, and infrastructure,
Water.
we're looking at development, and so it's,
Yeah. So we're 75% of the plan's done right now. It's 240 pages. You're more than welcome to come in and look at it. It is actually very interesting, but it's something that we haven't got down to with new history on what we're going to be able to get for help. And we're going to need a lot of help.
I guess I feel that this building is worth the time and effort to have a good plan, because everything I've heard ever since I've come on council and before that is that this building has a large purpose in our downtown and bringing people to town and having facilities for the school. I mean, it's huge. So I'm glad that, and I think it'll be well worth our time to find ways to make this work. And obviously we can't do it overnight, but I'm glad there'll be a strong discussion and plan worked out.
And Jan, we posed that question to New History and to National Historic Society for, okay, how many years out? Is this a one-time shot? Here's our bill, what are you going to take care of? Or is it spread out over 3 or 4 years? We haven't got to that place with them yet. Now we have this that's going to be reviewed by the Historic Society, and they'll get done with it in May, so sometime in June they'll come back and we'll start talking about those other things.
yeah, we don't know, if we prioritize and say roof and tuck point, can we go just for those items?
Yeah.
And then next year or 2 years later, come at the HVAC and present it. I'm wondering if we can, they're not gonna fork over $5 million, but maybe over a period of 3 years.
That's what we're hoping is we can do it over a period, yes. Exactly right.
Okay.
So a lot more to come with that. And the last thing that I've got on here, just real quick, safe routes to school. So we made it into so we are approved for the grant for safe routes to school. So and it's what it's going to consist of is how you get kids to school safely. So it'd be sidewalk projects, projects that might send a sidewalk all the way up Front Street, and then crosswalks, maybe a sidewalk going all the way from the grade school to the high school, could be crossing arms, could be a little bit of everything. We are in that. I mean, we are. We got it. I mean, it's here. So an example of that, Tyler got that at their new school, and their project was just shy of $500,000, and they only had to come up with, and it was like $50,000. And we were told on our call last week, kind of gave those numbers to us. They're thinking that to have something like this, which is real important, that engineering costs, that's all we would have to come up with is some of the engineering costs. And so we'd be working with Bollig with that. But if we can get a $500,000 project done through the school and us, we can come up with, $25,000-$35,000. So we're working, that's just another project that I'm still really learning.
So, Jeff, what's the next step on safe routes to school? Is there going to be another committee meeting of the safe routes to school people, or what?
Yes, that's coming in sometime in April, they thought. We got all the information we needed to the MnDOT, so MnDOT's involved in it. That's how far we came with this. The grant is there. Just another example of applying for things, and Val's really helped me out a lot with it, because this was new to me. I didn't know anything about it. So yeah, it'll be a good program, but we'll have our next meeting in April sometime, and we have Shane, I think, wasn't it 3 years? I think it was 3 years we had to commit to something like this. So we have the plan and everything's already done. So that's kind of exciting. All right, last thing I've got for you before we get to these resolutions, just my schedule. I'll be off this Friday, and then on April the 22nd is a city council meeting. Shane is going to handle the city council meeting. I fly back in on about 3:30 in Minneapolis on that Monday. I don't know I'll get back here in time. Probably not. It depends on what the flight is like, but I'll make sure everything is handled ahead of time.
We'll allow it.
Thanks.
We can check with state patrol and see if they'll get them.
Straight shot all the way here. Okay.
Escort with lights.
Before we get to the resolutions, there's a couple things in Tam's report in the liquor store that I think the public should know about. First of all, thank you to the city of Tracy for purchasing locally, because they had a good month last month, which means that's more money that comes back into the city of Tracy. On April 10th is the annual MMBA, which, Dave, that's Minnesota
Minnesota Municipal Beverage Association.
Okay. So they have what's called Help Our Local Animals Supply Drive. So the store will be taking donations all month of food, supplies, cash for the local animal rescue. And then on Saturday, April 6th, they will have the Tracy Area Animal Rescue there at the store with some animals that are up for adoption. And the MMBA will pay $100 towards the first 30 people that adopt that day. Is it just that day?
So to help offset the adoption fee?
Yeah. And
Cool.
then it says, a few years ago we participated in this event, and we were a few years ago they participated in the same event, and they were luckily the winners of a $300 award that the MMBA gave out, which went towards the benches downtown. So I don't know I don't know what that's about. Anyway.
It was a donation through them that we had received, and then we had to put it towards something for the city.
Was it because they participated, or because they had so many
The
people
liquor store won like a drawing for
They
it,
just
if I
had a
remember
drawing.
right.
Okay. So also, June 1st is this year's Burgers, Bands, and Brews. Put that on your calendar, because that is a fun night if you've never been to that. That's where they serve burgers out there, they have drinks, they have 3 bands. Is it 3 bands again this year? 3 bands. It's a family. It's a fun night.
2 local bands, and then the Elton John tribute band will be back again by popular demand from, we believe, 8 to 10, or is it 7 to 9? 8 to 10.
Yeah, and they were good. So it is a fun night. So if you want to mark your calendars for that, and also July 12th is the annual Aloha Night. So that's all I have for that. I just thought that'd be some things that the public should know.
Summer's right around the corner. Hey, Mayor, can we get into new business?
We certainly can.
We certainly can. Okay, number 1, Resolution 2024-34, Aloha Night Permit for Alcohol Consumption Request.
We need to correct something just in the notes tonight. Because the first resolution we did for the ECCO, I read it as 34. It's actually 40.
Yeah, I've changed it.
Okay, just so we note that. Then I'll make a resolution to approve, or motion to approve resolution 2020-34, the Aloha Night permit for alcohol consumption.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Anybody have any comments? Roll call, please.
Dobson,
Yes.
Schmidt. Yes. Teigs,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, number 2, resolution 2024-35, Burgers, Bands, and Brews permit for alcohol consumption request.
Do we pay any fees on that since we're paying ourselves, or do we?
So this is just allowing alcohol on the property. There is no fee for it. The temporary licenses, we transfer out of the liquor store
Okay.
into the general fund.
I don't remember how we did that.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-35.
Second that.
First and second, any further comments? Roll call, please.
Jones,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Teigs,
Aye.
Dobson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
and Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, number 3, resolution 2024-36, approving a temporary liquor license for Aloha Night, which was the $10.
I'll make that motion on that as long as fees are paid.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Teigs,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Dobson,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, number 4, resolution 2024-37, approving a temporary liquor license for Burgers, Bands, and Brews for June the 1st.
I'll make that motion as long as fees are paid.
I'll second.
A first and a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Jones,
Aye.
Teigs,
Aye.
Dobson,
Yes.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, last thing got to change, you want to come up, resolution 2024-39, adopting a purchasing policy for the city of Tracy. I'm going to have Shane go through this with you, and it's something that he had brought to me, and I said, well, let's bring it to the city council.
This is one of the comments when we initially adopted the policy. I think it's back in 2020, I think late 2020. The charter reads to follow the state for the bidding process, and ours is actually substantially less, $75,000 less than the state's requirement. So what's happening is anytime we do like a seal coat, overlay, if it hits that $100,000 mark, it's requiring us to do full RFP and bid packets over our own policy versus the $175,000 state bid requirement. So really this change just matches the state instead of us having our more stringent policy. Either way, the council would have to adopt or approve everything. I think it's over 50,000 or more, so it's really not changing any approval on our local level, so it's just saving a lot of paperwork. One of the things coming up here would be the slide gel coat. That's just tipping over 100,000 on the one quote that we got for that. So this way we can just seek some quotes, and we'll have just some standard requirements, as far as what we want to get done, and then we don't have to get engineering involved and do full RFPs and legal documents for it. So
it raises our number to 175.
yeah, which is what the current state statute.
You still see everything over
Right.
a certain amount anyway. You're still going to see it. It's just easier on
Less
Shane
paperwork.
Yeah, and it's going to be cheaper on the cost too. So it's less advertising and legal fees for preparing all the RFPs, and then architectural work too.
So you both recommend this?
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-39, adopting a purchasing policy for the city of Tracy for the one, go up to the 175.
I second.
First and second, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Dobson,
Yes.
Teagues,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Mayor Carmen.
Aye.
Would we find somebody, was it in Washington State, that was the only one we could find that'll actually do a PERD?
Well, there's another one. I have a name. I'm not sure where they're from though. They're from Florida, I think.
You don't
Florida
need
or
that
Texas.
around here for, things like that.
Shell cutting, is that one?
It's kind of an odd project as far as being common around here.
Well, there's what we need. We need to attract a contractor to Tracy that will do gel coating from Minnesota.
You get on that.
Yeah. In the 4 months that they can do it.
Righty then, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Away.
Thanks, Bear.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Be careful out there.
Well, you said summer's right around the corner.
It is.
All the